Hello and good afternoon. I'd like to wish each and every one of you, whatever your religious denomination, most speak of being religious, of being good people, but are some of the worst wicked and evil people in the world. That even on a weekend like today, which represents the Easter, the Passover, and the Ramadan, that you are seeing the most vicious conflicts right taking place right now in Palestine, in Israel, and in many places around the world. We are having what you call sectarianism. Sectarianism, no different than what we have here. What we have racial, with lack of racial harmony, racial hatred, and crimes committed against fellow citizens and people based on their race, the color of their skin, and maybe even if they're too handsome, like me. But nonetheless, I would like to come to you today and thank you for receiving me wherever you are, on your computer, on your phone, at your office, at your work, in the toilet, wherever it may be. From time to time, it is necessary for someone like myself, and in my capacity as the founder of God's Electronic Army, God's Electronic Army Press, as the leader of the avenging army resurrected of Francois Macandal, to give a statement on the status of things in society and to make a commentary on what's happening. And I say that, and it's very important because I recall back in 2013 when my wife Mimi was martyred, and I went to the police in my jurisdiction and they refused, and to this day they have refused to investigate what Mark David Crock did to Mimi, and how he killed her cannot be accounted for by a what they call an autopsy. It had to be what you call an inquest, an inquiry, wherein all the people who were there would be interviewed and they would say something. Because you see, when Dr. whatever his name killed Michael Jackson, no, everyone thought Michael Jackson was just so rich and he just had a private doctor. But when Dr. Murray was interviewed, it was found out that Dr. Murray was the one who killed Michael Jackson, and he ended up doing 5 years for it. Well, there's certain crimes that don't have a statute of limitations, and we may be weak, we may not be strong, and we may not have access to all of the legal avenues because I couldn't even get access. They killed Mimi, and they sent the police after me, and the police took their side, and the system almost took their side, but the judge was a reasonable judge, and they came in a kangaroo court with what they call a restraining order after they had killed your own loved one right there in the city of Plano, in the heart of Plano. And the police, I gave them a challenge that they couldn't live up to because they didn't have the self discipline, the self confidence to go into a major hospital and to question them because they had never done something like that before. And moreover, Mimi was not a significant person. She was a Negro, and she was fat, and she was black, and she had clouds in her hat, and they killed her, and they did away with her, and they didn't even charge me for those services. Assassination by institution. I hope you, when you need that service, you can get it too. I hope that and your you and your unfortunately I had a call coming in, so I had to take a quick pause. But what I was saying is that if I can remember what I was saying, half the time I don't remember what I'm saying. Oh, I tell you what you need to do. If you're gonna drink beer, drink Voodoo beer. That's all, Brian. Voodoo IPA. Don't waste your time on the other beers. This is 9.9% alcohol. And if you're gonna drink beer, you might as well drink that because the other beer you're drinking, you're just drinking water and wasting your capacity on 3 and 4% alcoholic beer. This is it, Voodoo IPA. As you see, Voodoo is taking over. So I'm telling you that the Plano Police Department did not have the wherewithal to do what I demanded of them. And there's certain crimes that do not have a what you call a statute of limitations, And there are certain other claims you can make, which even if it's criminal is one thing, and if it's something else, you need a preponderance of evidence. And we do believe 10 years later, after the martyrdom of Mimi, we do have a preponderance of evidence. And though the police had refused to cooperate with us, we will, at an appropriate time and appropriate place, take the measures that we have to take to bring justice for us and justice for this master here. Now, let's speak about something else. Let's speak about living while handsome, old, and brown skin in Plano. Let's speak about white women and white people calling the police on you. Let's go back to 2013, 10 years ago. I went to my pool with a camera in my hand. And the lady said, "Who are you? What are you doing here? How can you be here? You have a camera and we have kids here." And she called the police. And that guy, I don't know if his name was Leroy or whatever his name was, he came and he insulted me. He humiliated me and I had to leave the pool. Then I decided the next week to shoot a video from my front door, what I call future terrorists gathering to catch the bus in front of my house. Something that we always wondered about, when would these children shoot one another at the bus stop or blow up the bus stop? And we were not comfortable at this point in life in 2012, 2013, still having the bus stop in front of our house. It was okay when we had children in the system, but now that we no longer had children, it was not something we found convenient. And I shot a video from the front door of my house, and some porky, fat, ugly policeman from Plano made a report, and he said I was wearing my pants low. I may have been in my lunch pants. But this is how they make up scenarios about you. So being able to shoot a video from the front door of your house is a right, a fundamental right protected by the Constitution of the United States. It's your right, your First Amendment right. And they sent the police after me for that, and they clouded my name, and they insinuated that somehow I'm a pervert for taking a picture in front of my house. Now let's fast forward 10 years later. 10 years later, the management of my HOA have cameras overlooking the pool that is running, I would like to think, 24/7. Who authorized those cameras? And what are those cameras doing? Is it an act of voyeurism? Are they collecting pictures of little children to source out to some underground pedophilia organization? Did anybody question that? Who is collecting? Whom is it who collects these videos, and who is viewing it, and what are they viewing it for? And what is the cost that was associated with the implementation of the videos and with the ongoing monitoring of it? And what are they monitoring for? Are they monitoring for little boys, or are they monitoring for little girls? Nobody asked that question. Because the truth is, in public, we do not have a right to privacy. In public, we do not have a right to privacy, but yet, if I drive through my neighborhood at the fairways of Ridgeview and I'm taking pictures of houses, the neighbors become very alert and they call the police, or they even run out of their house and attack me and call the police and tell the police that I called them a white hoe bitch, which I didn't. And the police comes, and they come in a New York minute, and they come very, very, very biased. You know, they try not to show the aggression, but they're not our friends. No matter how kind and nice and polite they speak to you. And you can look at the video, Living While Black in Plano in the fairways of Ridgeview, and you can see where I'm out on a day documenting my neighborhood. Some neighbors challenge me. They say, "Why are you taking my picture?" One Indian man run to the police. "Oh, this guy, he take picture of my house. Arrest him, he take picture of my house." a smart Indian immigrant who wasn't for the sacrifice of black people and who wasn't for the Civil Rights Act of 1965. These people would not be able to get visas and green card and become American citizens. Wasn't for the sacrifice of the Negro people to open up the conscience of the heart of the United States of America. Many of these people wouldn't be able to be here today and to live in these lovely houses. They don't even have to start in the ghetto. Come straight to the suburbs to a $500,000 house. You cannot go, whether you black, white, or yellow, you cannot go to India or to China and live the way they live here in the United States of America, because God bless the United States of America and nowhere else. But they're calling the police on me. I've lived there longer than them. Longer. It don't matter. So long as you're a Negro, your rights does not matter. You don't have a right to freedom of expression. You don't have a right to free speech. You don't have a right to the Second Amendment. You don't even have a right to life unless you are willing to fight for your right to life. So these neighbors, these very newly arrived immigrants that you think would look out for the African people and the Negro people, they have always been the overseers. That's the role they served in the British Empire, to look over the Negro slaves. And when slavery was ended, they became indentured laborers. They got a wage, so they had a jump start on the Negro tribes wherever they were. Whether they were in the Caribbean, whether they were in Trinidad and Tobago, in Guyana, in French Guiana, in Brazil, they had a jump start on the Negro. So the Negroes left to party and to have a good time. I want you to tell me, when was it that I couldn't put a camera on my porch and film everything that's going around, and just because I came and took it out with a handheld camera, that made me a pervert? I still want to know. I still want the city of Plato. Don't mind the case we had that was out of time and past the statute of limitations, because we're going to have another incident that will give us something within the statute to bring a claim against you, because you are inherently evil and you will do evil things again. And at this stage in life, we are ready for the struggle and for the fight, and a luta continua. Let it be known that the struggle continues. Let it be known that you should tell me, why is it each one of my neighbors have cameras all over their houses, looking at me if I want to urinate in my yard while I'm cleaning the yard, because I cannot clean up all myself to get inside to go to the toilet. I want to give my plants some natural fertilizer of some good human urine. They are taking a picture of me. If I want to go in my backyard and intercourse, yes, if I want to intercourse, because I want to have an outdoor experience with my spouse, my neighbor's camera is looking down into my yard. Did I ever call you on the phone and say, Mr. Police, Mr. Plano Police, these people are taking pictures of little children while they pass by? Did I ever call you and say, the HOA are taking pictures of children at the pool? There are children there, and they are filming them, and they may be selling it to a sex ring, or one of them might be masturbating at home to children. Did I ever make those allegations? No, I haven't, and I'm not coming today to make those allegations. I'm just telling you, look at the double standard. My other location, all of my neighbors, and you say, ask, what are the people's preoccupation with all these cameras? What are they? Cameras do not stop crime. Cameras only document a crime, and you still have to solve it. And in many of the stuff I see on the television where there's been a camera involved, they still cannot identify the perpetrator of the crime. They're asking the general public. If you recognize this person, let us know. Sometimes the image is grainy. Cameras do not stop crime. What you have to do to stop crime is you have to have an early warning system. It's like the state of Israel. When you see an enemy tell you that they're going to kill you, you have to stand up and kill them first. When you come under attack, you must have early warning to know that something is getting ready to happen, and you have to preempt it, or you have to take a defensive position, or you have to take an offensive position to neutralize the threat before it materializes into a real threat. So the police knows. Body cams haven't stopped the police from beating and killing Negro people. And people call our church and they ask, what's going to happen after George Floyd? I said, ain't nothing going to happen. They're still going to kill Negroes. And Ben Crump is going to fly in and make a few $1 million just for having a press conference. He don't even have to go to trial. He just have to threaten the city manager, threaten the city. He gets paid, the family gets paid, and they say, oh, he's a great civil rights lawyer. But he ain't tried a single goddamn case, and he ain't won a single goddamn case having to do with civil rights. So he's making money of the plight of the despised and the dishonored and the disgraced Negro citizens of our society. So yes, we have a proliferation of doorbell cams that takes our pictures, that sends it out to somebody that's building a database somewhere. We have facial recognition, and since 911, all of the reactionary people in the United States of America insisted. They say, oh, they have cameras at each day. You never go and realize at each stop sign is a camera looking into your car, into your vehicle. That can tell you if you pick your nose, if you scratch your ass, and if you're having a drink or if you're having a smoke. These cameras are right there at every stop sign in Plano, and the United States government militarized. You see, we have so many law enforcement agencies, right? It'll tell you how bad our society is. You have police in the schools. You have police in the community college. You have police in the universities. You have police within the city. You have the municipality police. You have the sheriff. You have the constabulary forces and all other type of auxiliary forces, all of them with the intent to punish you and to make you kneel down and to follow whatever the people who are in control of society say you must do. Whenever you go up to the courthouse in Collin County, it's scary. When you see this big, vast complex, and you go there early in the morning and you see so many people that have to go to court that have some entanglement with the legal system, be it for divorce, be it for violation of traffic, be it for DWI, be it for robbery. So many citizens that this whole thing is a big complex industry, a big complex industry. The judiciary, law, being arrested, having to come up with bail, having to be stopped for a simple infringement, maybe a broken tail light, can lead to your losing your freedom, losing your job, and losing your family. That's the society we live in. And when you go up there, it is scary. And if you ever go to the detention center, which I've had the honor to visit multiple times in my lifetime, to look for a family member, it is scary because you ask yourself, if I go in this building, will they let me out? Many of these types of behaviors and these types oh, I didn't even mention the state troopers. I didn't even mention how some of these state troopers in certain states, they have a very close resemblance to the Nazi SS guards. There's something that is Naziristic about the policing of our society and about the various instruments to use force against the citizens and to enforce the will of those who rule over us. A lot of it was borrowed from Germany. The Germans have been very intuitive and very great in leading us, not just in science and technology, but in politics and in how to kill people and how to conquer people. And we took a lot of lessons from the Germans. Nazism is alive. Fascism is alive. It is a fascist that would come to me and tell me I cannot take a picture from my front door. And today, each one of you, and not only that, not are you just spying on the neighborhood, but you're spying on your spouses. Because some of you have cameras in the same house, spying in your living room, spying in your bedroom. And when the day comes and you commit murder against your wife, murder against your husband, these same cameras will bear witness against you the way it did in the Aaron Hernandez case. Aaron Hernandez came home and you'll see him on the camera, his own camera in his own house. He forgot it was on. What was he spying on? His wife to make sure she wasn't having any lovers, or spying on himself so he can see when he was having a homosexual affair? Well, Aaron Hernandez, you'll see him with the gun in his hand. After he came from committing the murder, he didn't know how to dispose of the gun. He shouldn't know that he shouldn't even get back to the house with the gun. So we're spying. We're all of a sudden in a state of paranoia, a society that is going into so paranoid that soon we're going to start turning on each other. In conclusion, many of you, I remember 44 years ago when I got here, you were planning for a pogrom. A pogrom, you have to see it, okay? IPA, Voodoo Master, Voodoo Warrior. Wait, is it Voodoo Warrior? No, Voodoo Ranger. We have Voodoo Warrior. They have Voodoo Ranger. Hey, check this out. 44 years ago, everybody talking about they arming themselves, they're buying guns, bullets, bullets, bullets to kill Negroes. The Negroes are no threat to you. They're no threat to the society. They have no power. Oh, and guess what? They collect all these guns and bombs and bullets. But when there is a tornado, when there is a natural disaster, guns and bullets cannot help you. What you need is a source of proper drinking water. What you need is a source of heat. What you need is somewhere to shelter from the tornado. What you need, and a tornado is no different from a nuclear bomb going off. Okay, but you saw, and you have to go and look at the history of Europeans. And I do a lot of that. I haven't time to tell you everything right now. But Europeans have always been going back to the fall of the Turkmen Empire in 1917, the First World War. You guys are always redesigning a new world order. I realize now that George Bush was not the only one who talked about a new world order, because there was a new world order after First World War, a new world order after the Second World War, a new world order during the Berlin Conference, a new world order during the Versailles Conference, and today all these troubles around the world are derived from Europeans' grandiose plans to control and to conquer other peoples of the world, and to control their economies and to extract the resources for nothing. I happen to be a descendant of one of those people. But I want you all to know that when it comes to our rights and our citizenships in the United States of America, we make no reservations about that, and that we're going to fight to defend it. And all of your artificially created circumstances where you say, well, I don't have the right to shoot with my camera from my front door, but now you have cameras all over your house. You're spying on your wife, you're spying on your husband. Every minute you want to see who comes to your door. You're worried about your packages. We are approaching the state of ultimate paranoia. And when people get paranoid, they do crazy things. They shoot themselves, they shoot their family, they shoot their neighbors, they have a program. Now, the other message I want to send is to my fellow Indian, Chinese, Vietnamese, whatever Asian, South Asian, East Asian heritage you're from, and you come to the United States and you look down on the Negro people. You look down on them. You never paid homage to them. You never paid homage to Dr. Martin Luther King or to the struggles of our people to bring an open society and to bring about the Civil Rights Act. But you come and you take advantage of everything. You come, you move into the neighborhoods, you colonize certain parts of Plano. All of it is Chinese. All of it is Indian. Right here too in Sugar Land, Texas is now an Indian town. It's no longer a town of working white class people. I mean, white working class people. All these people have been vanquished and to make way for newly arrived immigrants. But those immigrants failed to pay homage to the people who made way for them. And what happened now? Greg Abbott say they're going to pass a bill that says if you have lineage from Iran, lineage from China, lineage from North Korea, and who knows where it will go next, they might say if you have lineage from India, because you see, they cannot compete. Children cannot learn in school. And so now they're saying if you have any of that in you, we are going to dissuade you and we're going to make it illegal for you to own land and real property in the state of Texas. And what did you all do? All of you profess to be Republicans. All of you look down on Negro people with a scorn. But I knew that day would come. I knew that day would come when Europeans would turn against you. Because Europeans are very jealous people. They cannot stand for other peoples to prosper, and they don't have tolerance in their blood. And when they reach on a wall and they get frustrated, the only solution they have is kill, kill, kill. So now they're showing you that even though you said you were Republican, even though you said you hated black people, even though you tolerated them, they don't like you. They can't come and say we can't own land in the United States of America. Dare them to come and say the Negro cannot own land in America. Dare them. And they will see. They will see, because this is no longer 1925, 1913, or 1945. This is 2023. And we have ways, we have means, and we have access. And yes, we will resist and we'll fight until victory or martyrdom. Martyrdom of victory. And I'm telling you, those things I tell you about, you must think about. You must think about, because if I cannot walk in my neighborhood and take a picture and not have a neighbor call the police on me and the police comes, something is wrong with that. You don't have logic. You are part and parcel of the problem, because you don't even tell yourself this is a harassing call. The same way you arrested the young black man for walking in the snow. Yes, a luta continua. A luta continua. A luta continua. The struggle continues, and it will continue until there is no breath and no warm blood in our body. Know that you're going to be called to account for those things that you have done and those things that you continue to do. And we're not going to subscribe to the hypocrisy that it is okay for one people to do it and not for us. You know, I will implement cameras. I'll put a camera right in my yard to film everybody that goes by, just to make them angry and let them call you. They say the Negro has cameras now. God bless you. May the peace of Christ Jesus on this Easter weekend be with you. May the spirit of the Jewish people and their struggle through the millennia be with you. May the peace of Islam, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah, and of those Muslim peoples who have to fight today, to this day, to find their rights, wherever they may be, because Europeans do not believe they are civilized. And the struggle between Islam and Christianity goes back over millennia. And to my dear neighbors and friends in the wonderful and beautiful city of Plano, I want you to know that God bless the United States and nowhere else. And God truly has blessed the city of Plano and Frisco and McKinney with an abundance of material and economic prosperity. But know that when you think is peace and prosperity, there can be a sudden destruction, the likes of which we have not seen. Because man plans and God plans, and God is the best planner. It only takes one or two tornadoes to turn our lives upside down. I leave you in the name of Jesus and with the peace of Jesus. Amen. Amen. Amen.